December 7, 1941. A quiet Sunday morning in paradise. The U.S. Pacific Fleet rests peacefully at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. But beneath the comm service, a storm is coming. One that will change the course of world history forever. 4 years before the attack, tensions between the United States and Japan had been escalating. Japan's empire was expanding across Asia, invading China and seizing European colonies in the Pacific. America, opposing Japan's aggression, responded with harsh economic sanctions and an oil embargo. Without oil, Japan's military machine would soon grind to a halt. So, in secret, its leaders made a fateful decision to strike first and strike hard. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the mastermind of the attack, believed Japan's only chance was to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet before it could fight back. The target, Pearl Harbor. The mission, total surprise, 6 aircraft carriers, over 400 planes, and 30 support ships sailed silently across the Pacific, avoiding all detection. They were ordered to maintain complete radio silence. The fate of Japan's empire rested on this single gamble. At Pearl Harbor, life went on as usual. Sailors cleaned decks. Officers read newspapers, and many prepared for a church. No one suspected that in the skies above the Pacific, a deadly swarm was already on its way. At 7:55 a.m., the first wave of Japanese aircraft descended from the clouds, torpedo bombers, dive bombers, and fighters screaming toward the harbor. In minutes, hell broke loose. Bombs and torpedoes tore through American battleships lined up like targets. The USS Arizona was hit by a massive explosion. Its forward magazine detonated, killing over 1,000 men instantly. The USS Oklahoma capsized. The USS California and West Virginia sank slowly beneath the harbor's oily surface. Within 2 hours, much of the Pacific Fleet was destroyed. The attack left behind unimaginable devastation and awakened a sleeping giant. By 10 o'clock a.m., the attack was over. 21 American ships were sunk or damaged, and 188 aircraft were destroyed. Japan lost only 29 planes, but their victory was not complete. America's vital aircraft carriers were out at sea and survived. The next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the nation, calling it a date which will live in infamy. The United States declared war on Japan. In response, Germany and Italy declared war on America. The conflict had now become truly global. Pearl Harbor united the American people like never before. Over 16 million Americans would serve in World War II. The nation's industrial power transformed overnight into the greatest war machine in history. 4 years later, the war that began at Pearl Harbor would end with the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan surrendered on September 2, 1945. But the memory of that December morning of fire, smoke, and sacrifice would never fade. Pearl Harbor was more than an attack. It was a turning point in human history. A day of tragedy that gave rise to resilience. A day that shocked the world and changed it forever.